Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Now off the top of your head, can you name every single Jedi that survived the Great Purge? There was Obi-Wan, Yoda, and, well, that's usually where people stop. But if you crack open the galactic records, you'll find an entire volume's worth of Jedi survivors, each one more interesting than the last. Today, we're going to uncover some of these Jedi and find out how they managed to evade Darth Vader and his Inquisitors for so long. Could these be some Jedi that we may see in Kenobi Season 2 or possible other Star Wars shows? Well, depends if they want to bring some of them back from Legends or not. Now, a bit of a fair warning, we won't be covering former Sith or explicitly dark Jedi, so that means the likes of Set Hearth and Beldorion will have to wait for another time. Okay, so let's dive into this. Number 10, Quinlan Voss. Now, of course, in the Kenobi show, we found out that Quinlan is very much alive and he's helping other young Jedi or Force users find their way in the galaxy, giving them a new life. Now, out of all the Clone Wars era Jedi, Quinlan Voss might have been the least likely to survive. He spent a large chunk of the conflict buddying up to Count Dooku, and in canon, he fell to the dark side, after Dooku managed to use every torture technique in his book. Compared to other Jedi of his time, Voss was as close to the action as you could possibly get. But after he returned to the light side and in the final stages of the conflict, he managed to survive Order 66. And in the years that followed, he might have even raised a family. The last known account of Quinlan Voss comes from Master Luke Skywalker himself, who confirmed that Voss survived the Purge during the Imperial era. Now that can be traced to that series of videos that I made from the Secrets of the Jedi book, which covers all of Luke's point of view. So we have that in canon, and we also have Obi-Wan Kenobi confirming that Quinlan Voss is alive in the Kenobi show. So I think we're definitely going to see him eventually someday. Number 9, Cody Tai. Cody Tai wasn't the first Jedi kicked out of the Order during the Clone Wars era. There were plenty of Jedi who didn't see eye to eye with Grandmaster Yoda's decisions at the time. But Cody was unique. Unlike Sora Bulk, who tried to assassinate Mace Windu and tear the Jedi Order apart in Legends, Cody Tai was punished for the opposite, for being a little bit too eager to win the war on behalf of the Republic. Along with his master, Cody Tai took off on a secret mission to kill General Grievous. In clear violation of the Jedi Code, Cody was rightfully exiled for his actions, even though he saved the lives of countless Padawans in the process. But his exile might have been the very thing that kept him off the Inquisitor's radar and seemingly allowed him to survive the Purge. Where is he today? No one knows. Number 8, Kira Vantala. The first 5 years of the Imperial era were the most action-packed for the Inquisitors. But after the successful murder of former Jedi Master Eth Koth, the Order of Dark Jedi shifted their focus. For the Grand Inquisitor, that meant something particularly sinister. The Pauan Force user started to target children with newly manifested Force abilities. But even though he had full backing of Darth Sidious and the Empire, the GI wisely knew that he couldn't just kidnap anyone he wanted. That might add fuel to the fire of insurgents who were increasing around the galaxy. So the Grand Inquisitor turned his eyes on orphanages towards the children who didn't have anyone to protect them. During one of these secret missions, the Grand Inquisitor ran into an unlikely obstacle: Kira Vantala, a Jedi survivor. While the Grand Inquisitor attempted to steal another child to murder or to use for Palpatine's experiments, Kira fought them off. Number 7, Oppo Rancisis. Oppo Rancisis was one of the few members of his species to join the Jedi Order. The Thespiasians, a snake-like sentient race from the expansion region, weren't particularly Force-sensitive, which would have made Rancis's death during Palpatine's purge an even greater tragedy for his people. But for some reason, Darth Sidious wasn't particularly obsessed with the former council member. After killing Eth Koth, Palpatine was more or less content that the surviving Jedi were no longer a threat, and that included Oppo Rancisis. We're not exactly sure where the Thespiasian ended up in the years that followed, but wherever he went, he stayed off of the Imperial radar for good. Number 6, Coleman Cage. Like Oppo Rancisis, Coleman Cage was another member of the High Council that Palpatine wasn't particularly worried about. When you look back at Master Cage's Clone Wars accomplishments, there wasn't really much that shows up in the galactic records. Besides attending High Council meetings and nodding his head in agreement, he must have had only a small contribution in Republic victories against the Separatists. Maybe that was the reason that Darth Vader and his team of Inquisitors didn't spare extra time trying to hunt him down. Number 5. Gunji. Gunji was a Wookiee Jedi of the Clone Wars, joining the ranks of other famous warriors like Taivoka, the Wookiee Jedi Master who taught Plo Koon. Gunji had a lot to live up to. While still a youngling, Gunji was taught by Ahsoka Tano, who was herself the apprentice of the Chosen One, Anakin Skywalker. By the time the war was over and Palpatine established the First Galactic Empire, Gunji was forced to flee the temple and go into hiding. The Inquisitors never managed to capture the Wookiee. In later years, Gunji continued to study the mysteries of the Force and fought against the Empire in secret. And we also see him in the Bad Batch Season 2 trailer, which means we will be seeing him again. Number 4. Din Altus. Din Altus was one of the most rebellious Jedi of his time. He was an extremely active member of the Order in the years that preceded Qui-Gon Jinn's death. And much like Obi-Wan's master, Jin didn't really understand why the Jedi Order was so strict. Altus believed that Grandmaster Yoda's straight-edged rules would be the doom of the Jedi, so he created his own sect. And according to legend, he and his followers evaded Darth Vader throughout the Imperial era. Number 3. Master Aquinos. Among Din's greatest converts was a strange Jedi named Aquinos. Like Din Altus and many other Jedi before him, Master Aquinos was kicked out of the Jedi Order simply because he refused to adhere to the Jedi Code. Aquinos was obsessed with technology, so much so that he actually created his own robotic Jedi. Using the crystal bodies of a species known as the Shards, Aquinos melded them with battle droids and created an army of Force-powered robots. Number 2. Ashrad Het. Ashrad Het was one of the most unique Jedi of his era. Like Anakin Skywalker, he was born on Tatooine, but Het's father, a former Jedi, wasn't a moisture farmer. He was a Tusken Raider. And after Ashrad Het left his home to become a Jedi, he left his culture and family behind. During the Clone Wars, Het became a promising knight in the Order, and even bumped into Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi a time or two. But after Palpatine rose to power and executed Order 66, Ashrad Het returned to his home on Tatooine to hide. But he wouldn't stay there for long. Eventually, Het left the world and traveled the galaxy, acquiring forbidden Sith knowledge on his journey to becoming Darth Crate. This was a character I was really hoping we would see in the sequel trilogy, but alas, we didn't. And finally, number 1 on our list of Jedi who survived Order 66, we have Roarin. Roarin was a Jedi Knight from the Clone Wars who managed to outsmart the Inquisitors, and eventually joined the rebellion as a fighter pilot. We can't be sure if he ever bumped into Luke Skywalker, but in the aftermath of the Battle of Endor, it seems more than likely. As a rebellion fighter, Roarin piloted a T-65B X-Wing, the same model that Luke used when he took down the first Death Star. Like many other exiled Jedi, Roarin seemed to hide his past quite well, and might have even thrown his lightsaber away. The Last Jedi Luke style. Hope you guys enjoyed this first list of 10 Jedi who survived the Purge that you probably didn't know about. Let me know if you want me to make another video on Jedi who survived Order 66. Maybe some I didn't mention, and you can write them in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching today's video. I hope you're having a great day or night wherever you are watching this in the galaxy. Leave a like if you did enjoy it, check me out on Spotify, and I'll see you all in the next episode on Star Wars Theory. Until then, my fellow Jedi and Sith friends, remember, the Force will be with you. Always.